special guest co-host, Erin Elmore, with us, everybody. And DVL Nation, she's a lawyer, a political analyst, and a mom, and she'll be with us all week long. We're so lucky to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome. Can't wait.
Thanks, guys.
Shall we get right to it?
Let's do it.
Laura Ingraham will be missing from Fox News tonight. The host of the Ingraham Angle had an announcement for viewers on her show Friday. Take a look.
I'll be off next week for Easter break with my kids, but fear not. We've got a great lineup of guest hosts to fill in for me.
This follows her very public feud with David Hogg, who she called, quote, whiny, after not getting into several California universities. Now, Laura did apologize, but nonetheless, more than a dozen advertisers have pulled support for her show. And if you remember, former Fox News anchor Bill O'Reilly took a week off after advertisers fled his show, but O'Reilly never returned to the network. So let me start with you, Erin. Do you think that she will also not return?
Well, what Bill O'Reilly did allegedly did, of course, is a lot different than Laura Ingraham. She didn't really do anything wrong here. And what this is a war on, this is a war on conservative values. Laura Ingraham is a Christian. She is pro-life. She is conservative. This has become a war about nothing because of what her values are. And that should be scary for liberals alike. You know why? If you can do it to a conservative, you can do it to a liberal. So this can happen to anyone. And by the way, David Hogg is a victim of a tragedy. We understand that. And that's a horrible tragedy. There's nothing good to come out of that. However, he has gone out and publicly said things like F-word Trump and F-word Fox News. So he's dishing it out. He's got to be able to take it
He's
off.
also 17, though.
How about not putting a label of conservative or liberal on, and how about being she's a jerk for writing that? How are you going to write that when someone
She
went
said, called
through?
him whiny. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but for someone to go through a tragedy like that, why?
You can never.
Can't you aim it somewhere else?
You can never win with a victim of a tragedy. You're absolutely right.
I mean, I don't think.
Let's not be a snowflake here. Let's not go in our safe space. She used the word whiny.
So you think she should lose her job over it? Absolutely not.
Heck to the no. I mean, she didn't do anything wrong. And she's a brilliant woman that serves a certain demographic of the population on Fox News. She does a good job. It's a great show. But this is silly goose material.
But, Al, many people would say she did something wrong by, in their words, bullying a 17-year-old.
Right, and it was bullying. It was attacking him for not getting into college. That had nothing to do with his stance on guns. She called him whiny, and she attacked somebody in a vulnerable. I don't know if you've applied to schools and didn't get in. I know I certainly haven't. And to have somebody with that kind of platform at 17 come at you, removing the gun situation, removing everything, I just thought it was inappropriate. Now, like you said, I think the difference between her and O'Reilly is O'Reilly was accused of much worse things. So I do think they're going to let this cool off, and I think we will see her back. But I wonder which advertiser is going to return with her.
And I will say this in her defense, because I know you were we were talking off there earlier, and Al, you were talking about the fact, like, who takes off for Easter? Well, she does say that it's her children's spring break.
Right,
and so a lot of times that does happen, and that's legitimate. Do you think that that's the case?
Did she do that last year? Can we check
This show is new. It wasn't.
Okay.
So this show started about, I would say, 3 to 6 months ago on the Fox network. It's on.
Do you think that's going to hurt her? In terms
We got to move on to the next story. I'm so sorry.
So much to talk about.
Laura Ingraham all day long, but many people are also upset over the release of 20-year-old Ethan Couch from jail. Here he is walking free today. He's also known as the affluenza teen. Now, if you don't remember the story, here's a reminder.
Ethan Couch, a.k.a. the affluenza teen, was given that name in 2013. It all started when he killed 4 people in a drunk driving crash. Ethan was only 16 years old. The case drew national attention when a psychologist said he suffered from affluenza, meaning his spoiled upbringing, lacking any boundaries, meant he was unable to know right from wrong. The judge agreed and sentenced him to 10 years of probation. Many felt that punishment wasn't enough. Then in 2015, Ethan didn't show up for a probation check-in, sparking an international manhunt. Police found he had fled to Mexico with his mother. He was sentenced to 720 days in jail. Now he's out. But has the now notorious teen finally learned his lesson?
Okay, Erin. Erin, you're an attorney. Affluenza as a defense, really?
Well, listen, everybody has the right to a lawyer and everybody has the right to a defense. He has a defense and it worked.
My question is, so when did he take a Z-Pack and get healed from the affluenza? That's what
I don't think he's healed.
That's what I'm trying to, okay, because my point is that if he felt like, okay, you know, I have affluenza, the reason that I didn't know what I was doing is because the way I was raised. And then while he was on probation, because he wasn't sentenced to jail at first, he was on probation, then he was caught playing beer pong on tape. So did he still have it then? That's my question. At what point did he stop sneezing?
I just kind of have, this isn't funny to me. There's a rapper named Meek Mill who's doing 4 years in jail.
In Philly.
He was on probation. He went to jail for 4 years because he popped a wheelie while shooting a video on a dirt bike. The judge asked him to record a song for her nephew or something. He refused. And when he was on probation, he was doing community service at a homeless soup kitchen. They asked him to go in the back and fold clothes. So when they came to check on him, he wasn't out there serving food. And that was his third thing, and they gave him 4 years.
He also had drug violations, though.
Right, but this isn't funny to me. I mean, he didn't kill 4 people.
True story.
And I mean, us talking about a rapper having marijuana and 4 human beings that are no longer on this planet, I feel like we can't conflate the two.
No, but you can't compare one case to another. They have nothing to do with each other. But I get your
Both
point.
probation violations, correct?
True story.
But we can't compare those?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right in that regard. But I think what's going on here is there's a bigger issue with this young gentleman. He got his defense in. It's an embarrassing defense, but as a defense
He
lawyer,
had money. That's why he got a good defense.
Meek Mill has money.
Well, we also know that, Meek Mill is of color and this kid is not.
right.
So let's call it what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Well, I think personally, let's take it out of the spectrum of like all of these heavy issues here. This kid's gonna go back to jail. Let's boil it down to like common sense. Your mom's in jail.
His mom just went to jail a few days
You
ago.
went to jail.
You mean he's going to commit another offense?
I mean, he's gonna get some chronic affluenza going.
Okay.
I feel like he's gonna do something else, don't you?
Yeah, but when we already have him locked up for killing 4 people, what if he kills another person, God forbid, and then he's in jail? What, we could have prevented that.
Absolutely.
That's
It's a
what
sad
makes
story.
me mad. It's a joke. I think it's a joke. The whole thing's a
It
joke.
is.
All right, we are live. Let's get right to digital producer Brett Forrest because Brett has news at this moment. Brett?
All right, guys, I'm going to change the topic here. Michigan plays Villanova in the March Madness finale tonight, and the championship game tips off at 9:20 Eastern. In case you missed it on Saturday, Michigan put an end to Loyola Chicago's Cinderella run to the Final Four, and top seed Villanova dominated the Kansas Jayhawks. Our very own Al Jackson was on hand in San Antonio watching both games. Here he is with his friend Mark. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't jealous. Villanova is favored to win by 7. Tori, I'm sorry.
Hello, Brett. I went to Villanova Law School.
There you go.
I think we're going to take it home tonight. Jay Wright is a good coach. They're strong. You said they look good down in San Antonio.
They beat up on, wait, who did they just beat to? They beat
Kansas.
I mean, from the beginning to the end of the game, they really beat them up. So
Yeah.
I'm going with you guys. That's
What'd you
safe
say off
money.
camera? You said off camera the Kansas had nothing to cheer about the whole
They had
game.
nothing. It was just a lot of people sitting on their hands. Sorry, Kansas fans.
So Tori and I Tori and I are battling it out tonight with tequila, of course.
Can I come?
You're going to lose that battle.
I think Tori already started.
All right, 40 years ago today. Can you believe it's been 40 years since the hit TV show Dallas premiered across the country? The original show drew in millions of viewers, running for 14 seasons. And today, many of the show's original cast was on GMA. Here's why they say the show was such a hit with viewers.
It was Charlene.
That's nice.
It was
Put your finger on it, baby.
Is it over? Who knows? Never say never.
Never say never. Yeah, the Bobby Ewing show, I think, would be a smash.
Of course you would, darling.
Really? I'd find a place for you all, I swear.
Is this nostalgic for you? Because I didn't know you were such a Dallas fan.
My parents love Dallas, so whatever they watch, as a kid, that's what you watch. But it just brings me back to my childhood. Remember Who Shot JR?
That was the thing. It was like there was only one TV in the house, so like whatever your parents watch is what you watch. Yeah,
exactly. And seeing Bobby Ewing, it's like, what?
I know. I knew when the parents came home at 10 o'clock, that's when Dallas was coming on, so we'd all watch Dallas. I'd try to stay up. I'd try to stay up. I digress.
We are live, clearly. What kinds of things do you post on Facebook? A new trending story has ways you can protect yourself online. Tori Shulman has all the details coming in hot.
Yes, and go blue. All right, everyone is talking about privacy and Facebook. Well, an article on popsugar.com lists things you shouldn't post to protect yourself. You guys listening up? Number 1, do not check in.
Me. Yeah. I think I violated all of those rules.
Well, I saw one time where someone on Facebook, and I think this happens a lot, where they're like on a cruise somewhere that they clearly can't get back home quick, and they post all the pictures, and the people know they're out of town, and they break into their homes.
You're literally stranded.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right, Erica, what's coming up on Daily Blast Live?
Still ahead inside the Trump White House. A new book comes out tomorrow and promises more juicy revelations. Plus, thousands
thousands of teachers walk out, demanding better pay and more resources.
You as our fifth host, you have a lot to say. In fact, DBL Nation is fired up. Michelle says, quote, the difference between a good teacher and a bad one is a good one is there for the outcome. Others are there for the income. I got to go to Al. He's our resident teacher. You taught for 5 years.
It's very convenient. Yeah, that's cute for you to say that so you don't have to pay the teachers more. It's like there for the outcome. Look, you can't pay your rent with good intentions. You can't pay your car note with the fact that you love your students. You have to pay people. This is the world we live in. And these teachers are not asking for Bentleys. They're asking to be paid like a livable wage.
A minimum of 40 grand.
Yes, as a minimum of $40,000. And for all the tweets we get with people saying, if they want a better job, go get another job. Watch out because you're going to get what you asked for, and you're going to get inferior teachers.
I have one of those. Paula writes, I think with the time they have off, they get paid well. It's their choice to go to college for a degree in teaching, knowing the pay scale. Well, a lot of them have not had a raise in 10 years.
That's crazy.
They're asking for a raise, and many of them have to supplement their income with second and third jobs. Some of them are driving Lyfts, Ubers. They're doing it on the weekends. They're doing it on their time off. Is that what you want your teacher doing?
Right. And then, I mean, it kind of kills me and it bothers me sometimes when people are in other people's pockets saying about how much money they make or what they deserve or whatnot. These people, like you said, they have to make a living, and these people should get paid well. Let's even take it further. This is the fundamental playing ground for our children, the education, how they become competitive even to get scholarships to college. And we want to fool around and not pay the instructors what they deserve?
Let me grab Amy in, and then I want you to chime in. Amy says, I hope more states start to strike. Teachers are long overdue for a raise, and schools need more money for resources. Erin.
The striking is what bothers me if it's happening during school hours. If it's after hours, they are paid by the taxpayers' money. Your job is to teach the children during the day. Do it on weekends, do it on evenings, don't do it during the day. Our kids deserve an education.
Many of them are trying to do it during spring break. They're actually trying to think of the kids.
Great, because this is all about the children at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, if they can't afford to put food on their table, I would say even strike whenever they can.
I guess because they have to make noise at some kind of.
But then the kids suffer.
I know.
Don't make the kids suffer.
Right.
Yeah.
And the taxpayers all have to pay for it. So
we are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva. She has news at this moment.
Well, right now, the Roseanne reboot is
baking your head. You predicted this. Why?
I could have called it. As a conservative, we have nothing to watch on television other than Fox News. Turning this on was a breath of fresh air. And that's also a wake-up call to liberals, you guys. Watch out, because look at all these viewers. Someone's watching it, and it's conservatives, and they have a voice. They have a platform. They're hungry for content. Wow. Bring it on, Roseanne.
And Roseanne's benefiting.
And also, it was funny. Yeah,
funny.
You know that's important too. As a comic, that's not lost on me. I don't look at everything like conservative or not. It's like it's a funny show.
Good
well
show.
written. Good job.
Good show.
Yep. Daily Blast Live is all about news as it's happening. Eric, what's coming up?
Still ahead, Bill Cosby.
As I'm drinking my coffee.
As you're drinking your coffee. Well, it's not as bad as Gorgonzola. So she went to Villanova Law School.
I smell the Gorgonzola.
It's bad.
Somebody's eating like an onion sandwich.
That's her Gorgonzola.
Is that you?
It's a salad.
My God.
So
I thought it was coming from over here. That's
okay. You don't have to rub it in, Albert. Stu makes me a salad every day, and he gets a side hustle. Speaking of two jobs,
exactly.
Stuart, can you show Stu? Stu, wave your hand. Hi. Oh, Stu.
Sam's been out for a few
No one
days.
knows Sam.
She should know her name now.
So tell me, where did you grow up and college? Tell us, viewers want to know more about you.
I'm Pennsylvania through and through.
Woo!
Born in Hershey, where they make the candy, then moved to Pittsburgh. Went to University of Miami Law School in Florida. Moved
I went to Barry in Miami for grad school.
I mean, what's better than that? Then moved to Philadelphia to go to Villanova Law School. And I am a lawyer and a huge Wildcats fan, so we have a friendly tequila rivalry
going on. We got a tequila.
I don't know what this means, our tequila rivalry, but we just like.
So whoever wins.
Do you? I'm sorry. Do you go for a specialty or? I know you just get your degree in law, but did you specialize in anything?
I did not specialize. I did general practice law and civil litigation.
Okay.
So I went to law school for 3 hard years.
Yeah.
I passed that bar exam on
Yes,
the
you
first
did.
try.
Yes, you did, girl.
First try. That required some tequila too.
Very long and long nights with tequila. You're
And the gray hair. That's where it
Isn't
comes
there
from.
like a long period between like when you take it and then when you find out when you?
Like 6 months of
Why would
sheer
they
hell.
do that for you to you guys?
Because
lawyers need to be in a
What
high
happened to
school.
Scantron?
What do you do in the meantime?
You can work at your law firm, or you can work wherever you're working, but if you don't pass that bar exam, they give you the pink slip.
You can work.
The law firm will hire you before your bar results are back.
And you can work and do certain things.
Will some of them let you take it twice?
Oh yeah, they'll pay for it.
No, my firm
Some
was like,
law
you lose
firms-
that job.
Yeah, some law firms like hers and some of them will not. Some of them will say, we want you so bad, we'll pay you to do it again.
But it's not good to fail the bar.
Yeah, it's not good. It's never a good thing.
Because then it just added stress.
Don't you have to take it in different states?
Some states have reciprocity that you can waive in, like you can waive into New York from Pennsylvania.
Right.
But the good states, like California and Florida, they're like, heck no, you're not coming for our sunshine and palm trees. You're taking that bar again.
If you want to practice law in somewhere else, you got to face that state bar. So write us in. We're talking about tequila. John Venturini wants to know what. We'll tell you later. Yeah.
All about motherhood. The ups.
Her mom, and you know how hard it can be. I can barely get through Target sometimes.
I was like, what? I was
Does it make,
sweetest lady I've ever seen in my life.
Does it make you want to pay it forward and do it for somebody else?
Absolutely, because I know it's that
too.
first year is so hard, and you just be like,
oh my gosh, I remember
You'll
being
take
at Bed Bath & Beyond bouncing Sophie in the corner. Nobody volunteered to help me. What, Al?
I remember being in those situations, being like, nobody touched my baby.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, oh, hey, random number one. Here's the most precious thing in the world to me. Absolutely not. Put them in the cart. Let's keep it moving.
We got more trending stories in our next half hour of Daily Blast Live. Kellyanne Conway may be one of the president's closest advisors, but is she the biggest leaker? A new book says yes. And as Tiger Woods gets ready for the Masters, another breakup is getting ugly. An ex-girlfriend wants to write a tell-all book.
yeah, I converted,
She
man.
converted.
I wasn't
Like,
like, like, I am a convert, but my husband dresses up like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, so it's a whole thing.
Okay, now how long is that process?
Long. The Jews, it's hard to get in.
Yeah.
It's like a very exclusive club.
Yeah, it's like you're not just
There's a
gonna walk
velvet
in.
rope and a bouncer, and he's wearing a yarmulke the whole time.
Okay. All right.
great, though. That's
We have
love.
someone from Tir Na Nog. That's her name, Tir Na Nog. I'm not
That's
sure
a
if I'm
bar.
saying that right.
That's an Irish pub in Philly.
Oh. Please tell your guest attorney that the moment they resort to name calling Snowflake, they have lost the argument. How do you feel about that word?
And can we call you guest attorney from
Yes,
now on?
attorney. Yes.
All the
excuse me,
love out of that one.
Please tell your guest host attorney.
I don't know. We were saying it in a playful way.
Yeah. Do you tend to ever call people snowflakes? Do you not like that word?
I love that word.
You do?
It's fitting. When the shoe fits, wear it.
Wow. I can't wait for our panel.
What does it mean?
Snowflake is what conservatives call liberals because they're so
They're
soft.
crying.
They think they cry and they
Oh,
melt.
there's name? I didn't know that.
I mean, it's like the quintessential name. Like, you're all so unique. Like every little snowflake.
Don't you think
You're
we're
so
all unique?
special.
I didn't know that.
And so sensitive.
All right.
Kind.
Okay, I get you.
I want government handouts.
Guest host all week long, Erin Elmore. She's a political analyst, a lawyer, and a mom. Let's get right to it. Your top trending topics right now. One of Tiger Woods' exes, well, he's trying to, or she's trying to. What's up with non-disclosure agreements? You say it. You said it
Yeah, I
earlier.
mean, I get so upset about this because you signed the paper, meaning
Contract.
It's a contract. You're going to be quiet. We're going to date, but you have to be quiet about our relationship so you're not writing a book later. Why are these just so like, I don't feel like abiding to that anymore?
You signed the contract. You have to consider it a legally binding agreement.
But people aren't.
Well, it's crazy. But also,
What's the consequence?
monetary damages. But she probably thinks, I don't have any money anyway. That's why she wants to write a book, so let him sue me.
That's true.
She's like, so here's the thing where they say in the law, you go after the deep pockets, right? You slip in a Walmart, you're like, jackpot. I don't think that way, but that's how certain members of our population think. She thinks I have no money.
How do
can't
rich
sue me.
people or celebrities or people with money, what does it mean when you make someone sign a non-disclosure?
Essentially, it's not
nothing?
worth the paper that it's written on unless they have deep pockets, right? So you can sue them. But now this girl, obviously, she wants some money to write the book. But is it really that surprising that Tiger Woods was cheating?
No,
But he's
dating
about
her.
that.
Well, and
But why are we excusing it like it's just normal behavior? Oh,
For him
Tiger
it
Woods
is.
cheats. I know.
Well, I think we had so much evidence there that I would. She's like,
Our attorney, and you're from Philly. This is
That's right in our backyard.
This is right in your backyard. I was looking online, and according to a number of experts, they say that the defense most likely are going to be asking these jurors, these potential jurors, their feelings on the Me Too movement because they're afraid that depending on how they feel, they could be even more hostile to Bill Cosby.
I mean, absolutely. First of all, the evidence for Bill Cosby does not look good. Before it was just one person that was, speaking like Andrea Constantine.
Now there's going to be 5.
So there's a ton of women.
That can
the
speak.
evidence is stacked against Bill Cosby. This is game over for Bill Cosby.
Right.
Game over.
But do you think the Me Too movement is going to
Absolutely.
impact this?
Absolutely.
we were talking to me and Erin a little bit.
Manager Kellyanne Conway is the administration's #1 source of leaks. The book also claims an inside track on this story. You know Trump, you were on The Apprentice.
I know the family, I know the children, I know Kellyanne, not as well as the rest of them, but she is an insider. She is not the one leaking anything. She's an asset to this team. I have an idea. What isn't some other opportunity to just go out and write a book about Trump and the campaign and the presidency and all of that? And by the way, I also dislike when people dog Melania. She's a brilliant woman speaks 7 languages and a degree in architecture.
Were any of those languages in the speech that she stole from Michelle Obama?
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Yes.
Michelle Obama stole that.
Where? I didn't hear that.
His name is Saul Alinsky. Bam!
You can't just say the name and then it's over. Like, I'll look it up during the break.
Can somebody look into that?
I spoke about this on camera.
Can I ask you really quickly? Can I ask you, because with do you believe that Melania Trump is influencing Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
So if that part is accurate in the portrayal in the book, why wouldn't the Kellyanne Conway as the leaker be accurate?
I just don't think that it is.
But she is an opportunist.
I mean, she's worked in politics. She does a great job. She's loyal.
She's called herself an opportunist.
The president put her on the map. Why is she going to bite the hand that feeds her?
Well,
to look out for herself.
Well, and then another question I have, and you know, Melania, I think she's a beautiful woman. The fact that her premise or her whole thing is about cyberbullying, and you say that she has a lot of effect on him. Why is there a disconnect there? Why do you think that?
Well, people love to call Trump a bully, but I don't see him that way at all. But your point is well made. But honestly, it's just another example of people trying to poke holes and who's around the president. Why can't Melania Trump be anti-bullying? She has never done anything to bully anyone. She's the wife of the president. She's the first lady. That is her cause, and let it be her cause. And by the way, guess who we're sitting here talking about right now? We're talking about Melania. We're talking about Kellyanne Conway. We brought up Ivanka. Guess who we are all talking about? Strong women that are supportive of the president.
But is she strong enough to make him stop sending the tweets?
No, listen, honey. No one is strong enough to make that man stop tweeting.
Okay.
I have one more question. I feel like we're all taking advantage of having an employee.
Yeah.
Very quickly, an attorney here. What is there any consequence for writing a book and it's filled with inaccuracy? So if I say that Sam Shocker is the leaker on this panel, if that's not true, what are the legal repercussions that you can go after somebody for writing a book and making a profit from something that's fundamentally not true?
These days, it's almost impossible because the standard for slander and libel for public people, and we're all virtually public people at this point with social media.
Right.
The standard is so high to try to prove that there's actually slander or libel. Ain't gonna happen.
Wow.
You can basically say whatever you want.
All right, so I'm going to write a book tomorrow.
Leaker over here.
Great. Hashtag Sam's the leaker. Thank you. It may be April, but many people across the country are dealing with record-breaking snowfall today. Digital producer Kelly Schuberth has news at the moment.
Yeah, Sam, right now a spring storm is hitting parts of the East Coast. Check out this video from New York City where they're experiencing the heaviest April snowfall since 1982. And check out FlightAware's misery map right now. All that weather forcing airlines to delay and cancel flights right now. We've got lots of red coming out of NYC, and that's causing a ripple effect at airports across the country. We'll keep you guys updated.
Wow. And you said Philadelphia, where you're from, is snowing.
Yeah, New York, it's bad.
April.
I know we had like a weather advisory from the school. Be careful, it might be slushy conditions, the roads, we might have to close early, things like that. It is April, it is spring. It's been a long winter for us.
Do you believe in climate change?
No. Where's your global warming?
As we go to break.
I know.
Where's the global warming? It's snowing in April, huh?
Okay. And now it's time for some news from across the pond. It's Roy Watch with Tori Shulman.
Hello, darlings. La, la, la. Today in Royal News, Meghan Markle gives us lessons on how to become a princess. This, according to a brand new book out next week from Diana's biographer called Meghan, a Hollywood Princess. Lesson number 1, always remember the classics. Turns out Meghan is a lifelong fan of Diana. The late icon was her childhood role model for her humanitarian work and her personal style. Lesson number 2, cut it off with your ex and fast. The book claims that Meghan ended her 2-year marriage to Trevor Engelson by sending her diamond ring back in the mail. Is it over? Reportedly, he's still angry to this day. And finally, lesson number 3, always practice your tea time etiquette. Meghan was so nervous about meeting the Queen that she took tea drinking lessons before crossing the pond. Pinkies up, girls, pinkies up. Back to you, Sam.
Pinkies
My
up.
tea lessons.
Pinkies up. Oh, your pinky's not up. There you go.
How do you take tea lessons?
When they said tea time, I thought they were going to go golfing. I swear. That's the first, maybe because we just came off of Tiger Woods.
I guess so.
I'm always half
You don't
listening.
even know that your pinky's supposed to be out like that, Sam. You're just doing that because you saw that on TV. You don't even know if that's the proper way.
I was just told by
I do it two
Tori
hands.
Shulman.
Like I'm in front of a
No,
campfire.
that's not right. It's
We need those
pinky
little
out.
cups where we can just teetotal.
Okay.
Now it's time for our top feel-good stories of the day. Erica, you have all the videos that are making TBL Nation smile.
That's right, Sam, I do. There's a new charity challenge today. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s Muddy Puddle Challenge to raise funds for ROHAD, a rare condition that affects children. Watch Iron Man's effort. Wow, that is
All
a
Avengers, Iron Man fans alike, I hereby challenge thee, go mad, jump for ROHAD.
That's a hard act to follow. If you make your own Muddy Puddle Challenge, be sure to tag DBL so we can share it on our show. And did you fall for any April Fool's jokes? Here's Google's annual prank, and oh boy, I wish it were real. It's a bad joke detector. Watch.
The detector automatically detects all the bad jokes on your phone, and with a few taps, deletes all of them so you can go back to enjoying your day.
I'm not sure how many of Tori Shulman's jokes would make the cut, but she'll keep trying. Coming up on Daily Blast Live, love you, Tor. We're chatting with Oscar-winning actress Helen Hunt about her new movie, and also, could a Mad About You reboot be in the works? And a little later in our Stepping Up for Kids safety series, meet a 13-year-old boy who's teaching kids how to defend themselves from bullies.
It turns out that Melania said she got her degree of architecture from University of Slovenia. There is no University of Slovenia. Snopes has disagreed.
Snopes is
I researched a little. She did go to a university. She never graduated. So she paused her studies, is what we're saying. So we want to make sure we get that correct. And we're going to look up Sean Linsky. Saul Alinsky.
We can also look up Sean Linsky. He might
He's
be
a friend from
maybe
college.
he's a bartender outside of Philly.
Oh no, I did. So guys, let us know what you guys are writing in. A lot of people are talking about your discussions on Roseanne and saying they didn't find Roseanne to be very Republican. They actually felt that they brought up both sides
That's what
pretty
I was going to
clearly.
say.
Go
I
ahead,
was going
Jeff.
to come in there and say that, but I like.
Which is nice, though, to have
so
both
that's where I
sides.
kind of stand. You know what I mean? I like just that discussion being had.
Right.
You don't really hear from conservative side
Right.
on anything that's in the talk show. So it being a comedy makes it better, makes it even more inviting to talk about. And having both sides, I think that's where the conversation needs to be.
And it teaches you how to have that conversation because we see it being so divisive when it doesn't have to be. Look who we have here today. You've done such a great job holding your conservative views. And it's important to have the discourse without it becoming so what we see it online.
And Sam, I think it's important that we see it at low-income Rust Belt working at a dinner table, like when they have the discussion, because that's when you have those discussions with your family. I agree. If you're going to pop culture, include both sides in your pop culture.
Absolutely.
But I agree. Roseanne was not going to mention the name Trump the entire season, by the way. She's not going to mention the name Trump.
She said make America great again.
It's just, but not the name. It will be not included, excluded.
Okay.
So that's
I
the
can't
word.
wait till the next hour.
It's going to be Michigan Villanova.
Saul Alinsky died in
In today's Chatting with the
Messy, crazy time. I get that, but it's been messy and crazy for a long time. It's just all been buried. So I think it's, painful and good, and we're all having to figure out how to navigate it.
Speaking of that, would you work with Woody Allen again?
No.
Thank you so much, Helen. You've been a huge role model for me, so it's such an honor to meet you through cyberspace. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can't wait to see the movie.
you.
Take care.
We are live digital producer Brett Forrest with news at this moment. Brett?
Amazon's Alexa is getting into the giving spirit. Now you can contribute to dozens of charities with the new donations feature. Starting today, all you have to say is, Alexa, donate $30 to the American Heart Association, or Alexa, I'd like to make a donation, and she'll ask you to pick a charity and dollar amount. It's connected to your Amazon Pay account, and there are currently 48 approved charities. The company says the list will continue to grow. And if anyone's Alexa is listening and just made a donation using my voice, my bad. She's supposed to ask you if you really want to go through with it.
Thank you, Brett. And you have a rebuttal to Erin had mentioned the plagiarism of Michelle
speech.
Obama.
Well, and it looks like here, according to like the definition of plagiarism, really Michelle Obama did not steal it from Saul Alinsky, who was actually a community organizer, because 93% of your speech or more has to be that.
Authentic.
Authentic, exactly. And by that same token, Melania Trump taking something from Michelle Obama, it's kind of the same boat, because it wasn't 93%.
Okay.
But the source is, the original source of the information is Saul Alinsky, though.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, it's called Something for Radicals.
But we can't call it plagiarism.
Neither of which are plagiarism.
All right. Well, we are live. Erica Cobb has a new trending story coming in hot.
H&M just launched a new wedding collection, and you won't believe the...
You'll love a good deal, huh?
Love a bargain.
Yep, me too. We'll still ahead. Beauty bargains at Sephora are coming in hot. We'll show you some of the steals and meet a young boy who's stepping up to keep other kids safe from bullies. You do not want to miss this story. Stay tuned.
Guess what, CBL Nation? Even when you're done watching us on TV, you can catch all 3 hours on Facebook and YouTube. When you watch online, you get behind-the-scenes footage, and you get to see our hosts totally unfiltered, something you don't want to miss. We are here. We are going to go check out what people did for the Easter holiday and for Pesach, which is the way you say Passover. We have a convert here to Judaism.
Yes.
Very exciting. You took the mikvah. You want to explain what the mikvah is,
I
Mama?
converted, which was a long process.
Very long.
You know, like on Sex and the City, Charlotte, she did that sort of thing.
Totally.
And then once you really become a Jew, you have to go in this mikvah, which is like a bath.
It's a big
It's like
bath.
it's like a baptism.
Correct, but you're an adult. You usually are when you're converting.
I was adult.
Yes, and you were pregnant, am I right?
Did I tell you that already?
No. See you later. She's a Sagittarius.
So I was like this big, and as you know, in water, when you're like this big, you can't.
Did you float?
Basically, and they make you take off your nail polish and your toe polish, and I forgot to do that. So I'm trying to reach my toe. You can't even see your toes. I'm like.
The mikvah is like a baptism. You go into water and you dunk and stuff like that. So it's really
come out a
fascinating.
Jew.
You come out
With
as
less toenail polish.
That's exactly right. What did you do for Passover?
We had a Seder with
Nice.
another blended family of friends that
Beautiful.
are, some are Jewish, some are Korean, so we had a lot of really cool cultures.
Amazing. Did you find the afikoman?
My son and my friend's daughter, they found the afikoman and got candy and toys and stuff.
That's
and then we went
amazing.
to New York City.
Nice.
And then had an Easter brunch with a lot of friends there.
Nice, you had both. If you guys
do
don't know,
both.
the afikoman is a piece of matzah, that flatbread, and they hide it, and the kids have to find it. But in our family, there's no more kids left, and it's up to like $100 to whoever finds it. So during the meal, be like, we gotta go to the bathroom, and be like searching. It's $100. Like I'm not. And when it's time to go, I'm like, get out of the way. I take it a little.
It's like the Jews' answer to hiding Easter eggs.
It's exactly what it is. All right, let us know what you guys did for Easter, for Passover. If you know anything about conversion, if you have any questions, we are taking them now.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Like it.
Time now for Stepping Up, our recognition of people stepping up to keep kids safe. Today, meet a boy who is helping other kids stand up to bullies.
From YouTube tutorials to children's self-defense classes, 13-year-old Ethan Blevins of Surf City, North Carolina, hopes to put an end to bullying by teaching kids to defend themselves. Ethan was bullied for being small and got into wrestling at the young age of 4 and has been dominating ever since. Ethan is one of the top junior MMA prospects in the world with over a dozen combat sport titles under his belt. Now, this champ wants to hit the road and has set up a crowdfunding page and hopes to help kids all over the country. This compassionate 7th grader is stepping up to battle bullying one high kick at a time.
Ethan and his dad, Daniel, join us now. Ethan, why is standing up to bullies so important to you?
I have an autistic brother who could easily be the next target. I've been bullied myself, so it doesn't really hurt me, but I would rather have the attention on me than others, and it just breaks my heart to see other people have to go through it.
You're absolutely right. And Daniel, what do you say to people?
Pinkies up, girls, pinkies up, pinkies up.
Pinkies up.
Pinkies up.
IT lessons.
Pinkies up. Oh, your pinky's not up. There you go. See, we learn something new every day. Pinky's up. Al disagrees. He doesn't think
I don't
your
know
pinky
if
up.
I think that's only for champagne.
Fine.
You don't put your pinky up for champagne.
Yes, you do if you're drinking good champagne. Stop drinking that Cook's.
I've been outed. The stories never stop, and we don't either. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. Keep the conversation going. We'll see you tomorrow. We have Erin here all week.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Have a great day, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy.
Elmore with us all week. She's a lawyer, a political analyst, and a mom to top it all off, and she'll be with us all week long. So happy you're here, Erin.
So happy to be here.
This is going to be a good week. I feel it. Villanova, Michigan.
Girl.
It's going down.
That's how we express ourselves by doing this.
Well, let's get right to it. Here we go. Lauren Ingraham will be missing from Fox News tonight. The host of the Ingraham Angle had an announcement for her in this situation.
So what Bill O'Reilly allegedly did and what Laura Ingraham has done are not even apples and oranges. They're like apples and unicorns, okay? Laura Ingraham.
That's a big difference.
That's the point. She called a kid whiny. And listen, David Hogg's a victim of a tragedy. No one can ever step on that touch that. It's horrible. But he's been out there saying really aggressive things like F Trump, F Fox News, F guns. And you call him a bully and he starts crying about it. Let's also realize Laura Ingraham is a staunch conservative. She is pro-life. She's a Christian. This could also be seen as an attack on Christian and conservative values.
Good angle.
You think that the fact that the 17-year-old used the best tool that he knew how, social media, is him whining about it? Or do you think that he was proactively being active in his response?
I think neither. Well, first of all, she called him whiny. I don't necessarily think that that's true or false or indifferent. It was just a word she used to respond to something. Should she have responded to a 17-year-old? Probably not. Especially, you can never win against a victim of a tragedy.
So then why do it?
She made a mistake. But is it Bill O'Reilly level? Is it 12 advertiser pulling out level? Is it canceling her show level? Abso-freaking-lutely.
12 advertisers, whether it was right or wrong, is huge. And I don't know how the network's going to respond to that. I mean, that's big money.
I think this snowballed a little bit out of control, and that's why the advertisers started pulling out. But you got to realize this. When advertisers pull out for a political reason on one side, be very careful. This can trickle down to the other side, too. And if we start making decisions based on political reasons,
Or do you think it was political? Because it wasn't actually about the gun debate. It wasn't even about politics. It was all stemming from the fact that he chose to use his platform or to talk about the universities he wasn't accepted to.
I think that the general issue that you're talking about might not be, but the whole thing surrounding it, you can't ignore the facts. You can't, if you smell the chicken, there's chicken country.
How do you feel about him saying F the president, F Fox News and things like that?
I think he's using his First Amendment speech, and I think he just went through a terrible tragedy. I don't get Laura Ingram's angle here. Maybe you could help.
He's not really for the Second Amendment.
He does not want to get rid of your guns. He has said that explicitly.
He's just very, very staunch on what you're going to do to control them.
Yeah, because he had his, people shot up in his school.
Like I've said 100 times, you cannot mess with the victim of a tragedy.
So why do that and why defend her?
Because I think she's a brilliant author, she's a great host, and she stands for values that Americans truly care about. Her reason for the LeBron thing, she wrote a book several years ago called Shut Up and Sing. And what that is about is any celebrity, but sing is just sort of the term. That's why she said shut up and dribble. She thinks that these celebrities have this platform simply because they're celebrities, not because they're the best and the brightest in their political field. They're out there commenting on politics and on how we should live our lives.
Are these celebrities not citizens? Because I never remember why citizens can't have their own opinion too.
She's saying have your opinion, but you have a platform. Be careful how you use it.
Right. So, I mean, the great debate. Absolutely great debate.
Yes.
We're going to be Roseanne here all week. I mean, talking about both sides. All right. Good
Am I the
news.
Roseanne? Because
No, it's just a conversation. We're the middle of the road
I love
here.
her. But she liked one of my tweets the other day. Thanks, Ro.
Yeah, Ro.
But I don't think we look alike that much.
Apples and unicorns.
Hey,
Good news for the president. New poll numbers just released reveal that Trump's approval ratings just topped Obama's at the same point in his presidency.
Yes.
The Rasmussens, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Celebratory. Yes.
If you want a gift made of it. You did it.
It'll be at the end of the show.
I've always wanted to get.
Yeah, well, you got one. It's in now. Tori, how do you feel about this? This is higher than Obama's was his at the same point as his presidency. You know what I'm going.
Yeah, and I do think presidential polls go up and down as we've seen. I know that President Trump's has been gone down further than any president in history. It is tending to only go one way because there's only one way to go up is up because he was at the bottom.
But above Obama. He's above Obama.
At this point, wait for tomorrow.
So let's wait because it's going to go up even more. I bet you $1.
I respect the celebratory dance, but
getting the accolades that he deserves. It's called the respect of the American people.
For?
I don't know, 65% of Americans are going to look at a tax cut.
Of like $4, come on.
Oh, who are you, Nancy Pelosi now with these crumbs?
Well, I'd rather
thousands of dollars.
I'm sorry, a lot of these people are Republicans who got their tax break, got $400, $500, $600.
We're talking about the average American. And also, African-American unemployment is at the lowest numbers in 17 years.
And we're giving that to Trump?
100%.
As opposed to giving credit to Obama, who actually set it up before Trump
17 years, so then we can go back to Reagan.
And he's getting the glow
Let's
of
take it back to
Obama's
Reagan.
administration. I'm not going to give African Americans having the idea. Or
jobs numbers are the best that they've been also.
Do you believe in the glow after an administration? Because I assure you that solely sat with Obama.
I don't think that.
Agree to disagree, right?
Yeah. The way to find that out is going to see what happens in the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the Mueller investigation too.
Well, many people are upset.
Yeah, right.
And it's not just these guys. Over the release of 20-year-old Ethan Couch from jail. Here he is walking free today. He's also known as the affluenza teen. If you don't remember the story, here's a reminder.
Ethan Couch, aka drunk driving crash. Ethan was only 16 years old. The case drew national attention when a psychologist said he suffered from affluenza, meaning his spoiled upbringing, lacking any.
He got off, and there's 4 people out there, families that are ruined because of this person. I mean, I think it's a joke that the legal system got him off by some loophole or whatever they did to get
rubble. However, having said that, everyone has the right to an attorney, and as a defense lawyer, his defense lawyer came up with a winning strategy. As sad as it is, it worked.
I really think people should protest Justice Boyd. She's the one here who gave him the probation instead of any jail time. And I think there should be a petition just like there was in the Stanford swimming case that because, and let me just call it out right now, he is white and rich and that's why he's not in jail.
Let me make that
that's
clear.
Why.
Let me make that clear for the audience. There was no jury in this case.
It was
just
a judge. Excuse
It's
me.
called a bench
Right.
trial, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't always have to have a jury. That's, as a defendant, that's your right. And he was also a minor.
Right, he was 16. I know, but I mean, I
This
know.
is nothing but white privilege. Literally nothing but.
Not the politics or make it too crazy. This kid's mom was just in jail. He just got out of jail. This kid is going to do something. He's a bad egg, right?
Right.
Something's going to happen. He's going to do something else in his life, and he's going to end up in jail eventually.
Yeah, but why does someone else's life have to be in jeopardy? It seems as though we preemptive strike with Black and Hispanic young men.
Thank you.
All right, we are live. Did you?
That she sort of, I don't think she swore. Let's make sure we take that back. How do you feel personally as a mom that she mocked him?
She said he was like
Whiny.
My kid's whiny.
But your kid didn't go through a tragedy.
No, thank God.
Yeah, knock on wood. Boo, boo, boo.
But no, I don't
But as a
think
mom,
that-
did you think it was rude? I spoke to a Parkland survivor, and he said, Ryan Deitch, it was just rude to us.
It's certainly not her shining moment of capabilities.
But you don't think it should make,
No, this isn't a defining moment.
defining her. Okay,
Shouldn't
interesting.
be. And I don't think it will be. My prediction, who am I? I'm just Erin Elmore sitting over here, is that she'll be back on air the week after this.
All right, let's see. Let us know what you guys think too.
Good stuff.
Go Blue.
Right.
Well, I also would argue that this is a very educational thing for kids to learn. So
First Amendment freedoms. It's a totally different setting.
well, public schools you do because of Tinker v. Des Moines.
No, but there's other situations where you actually don't, because you can't just
public
go
schools.
in public. Yeah, in public schools, that you can't go in and just say whatever you want to say. There's not the same right that you have in a government building, for example.
True, but students don't lose their constitutional rights at the school gates.
Some.
Fifth host.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, we're just debating who's going to join this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Doyle White writes, I believe teachers deserve more, and the education system needs improvement. Otherwise, we'll become a third world country and have to cross the border illegally into another country in order to have a decent life.
That's a
lot.
That's a lot.
That's why it was a mouthful for me there.
Yeah, that's heavy.
How do you feel about teachers walking out?
Well, I think they should do it on hours that when children are not needing
You don't think that
education.
the higher platform and the higher stakes is important for them to actually be heard?
The problem is they're being paid by the taxpayers, and the taxpayers are a collective group of people that all may not agree with walking out. So I think you do it after school, you do it on weekends, you do it on holidays. Don't do it on my dime.
All right, we are live.
That means an additional 6.6 million viewers watched a recorded version of the show after it aired last week, bringing its premiere total to more than 25 million viewers.
And I have one point, little political point here.
Go for it.
More people watch Roseanne than the Stormy Daniels interview. Drop mic.
Wow, so you're up, Erin, 5-2. I'm sorry.
It's just the Villanova basketball game.
Coming up on Daily Blast Live.
Bill Cosby's sex, no one's hearing them.
Well, why would that be the case? Why are they here? Well, they're only
Because the
hearing them
stakes aren't high enough, basically.
stakes aren't high
When
enough.
people are upset about it is when people start talking about it.
Right.
What is your response to that?
I mean, like, I go back to my taxpayer argument. As a taxpayer, I don't want to be paying for you to be marching around and protesting. I want you to teach my kid the basics of a foundation for success in American culture.
And you don't think a foundation of success has to do with the First Amendment and showing them?
Sir, I'm a
despite-
huge believer of the whole Constitution, first, second, other amendments as well. But I think that if they want to do well on the SATs and get a good job and get into a good college, they need foundations of an education, and that doesn't involve protesting.
And I think protesting is a major foundation of education.
I mean, it's not on the SATs.
No, I know, but are the SATs that good?
They're important.
Are they? I mean, I know they're important for colleges. I just don't think they're necessarily fair.
Because colleges are so expensive right now, a lot of people are changing their
How do
minds.
you feel about colleges?
So expensive.
Do you feel like obviously I'm a big education, but lately I'm like, I could understand if you didn't go to college, right?
I understand why people are choosing alternative means of
I do
education
too.
because college is literally like, here, take my kidney and my soul.
Here's $90,000 I don't have. So that's not a political bipartisan. That's not a partisan issue. Is both sides can see it's just crazy.
Well, I also feel that as a conservative, colleges are so liberal, and that's a fact. Hi, I'm going to pay you $90,000 a year to tell me why President Trump stinks. No thanks. On a plane, please don't scream, please don't scream. And you know what? She saved my day, so
And you
thank
still remember it.
That's
There we go. Coming up, a SpaceX rocket is about to launch. We'll show you the...
Expensive Amazon delivery yet.
I like it. I'm Jeff Schroeder, joined by Erica Cavatori Shulman, and special guest host all week long, Erin Elmore. She's a political analyst, lawyer, and most importantly, a mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look what happens when you privatize an industry. Look how well that launch went.
I don't know what you said, but that was cool. All right. Let's get to our top trending topics. What drives me bananas?
I think this is actually good news for Tiger at this juncture because I believe that he needs just a little bit of bad publicity to come out stronger.
And be the
Every
underdog,
comeback
yes.
that he's ever had has always been when he's the underdog.
Yeah.
The moment that people have been saying, oh, Tiger Woods is looking to be number one or he's going to win, it's not going to happen. When I think of NDAs with relationships, a lot of people are like questioning, why would you need one? You see why you need one, because people are shady and they play dirty. When someone wants to capitalize not only to be
Contract, it is enforceable. However, what is Tiger Woods going to do? Sue her? She obviously doesn't have any money, because if she did, she wouldn't be trying to write a sleazy tell-all book. Attorney in Philadelphia, where this case is taking place, said that the evidence alone will bury Bill Cosby. This is
I don't
game
see him
over.
getting out of this one.
And this is game over, barring any crazy unforeseen circumstances.
Well, before we've seen all the evidence.
No, so let's keep that straight, that at least it was in
True.
favor of conviction. And the 74 victims, not all of them can be taken into account.
Agree. The jury shouldn't really have
Well,
that
they're
in
not
their
allowed.
head.
That'll be in jury
Yeah.
instructions that you're not allowed to take in all 74.
It's hard not to, isn't it?
But 5 is enough.
Yeah.
2 is enough. 1 is enough.
Amen.
All right, a new book from journalist Ronald Kessler. Erin Elmore, sorry, has... no, it's not. Erin Elmore has more on this story, so...
I know the Trumps. I was on the show The Apprentice with Donald Trump back in the day.
Wow.
I've met all of the children. I've met Kelly.
Is that you with Trump?
Yes.
Wow.
That was me with Ivanka. I know Ivanka really well. I interviewed her on the campaign trail. So I know these people very well. And Kellyanne Conway is not leaking anything, in my opinion. She has called herself an opportunist. We do know that. But she has to credit her success greatly to the president. I think this is another guy writing a tell-all, a little bit sleazy, if I can say so myself, just trying to make a dollar.
I just want to go to the Melania quote.
Yes.
Do you think she has an enormous impact on his policy?
I believe so. She's
Really?
a very smart lady. She's tough. She's strong.
But do you think she's there enough to actually have an influence on him? She's never with him. We've rarely seen a first lady spend that much time apart.
She's also a private person, too. She never thought one day in her life that she was going to be the first lady
I agree
of the
with
United
that.
States.
I agree with that as well.
I mean, there's no way. But we know she speaks 7 languages. She, I believe, has a degree in architecture. We talked about where it came from, but that she's a smart lady. She's just not a pretty face. And who are we talking about right now? We spoke of Ivanka. We spoke of Kellyanne. We spoke of, all these women around the president. Guess who we're talking about? Strong, powerful women.
Yeah, but Erin,
oh gosh, gee whiz. The president has surrounded himself by strong women.
Aaron, half of those people are his family. I mean, you can't say that he surrounds himself with strong women.
Okay.
It's his wife, it's his daughter.
Kellyanne Conway.
That's one.
Betsy DeVos, that's 3 right there.
But I'm wondering, Kellyanne Conway, her husband.
Do it every day. Have you heard of James Carville and Mary Matlin?
Yes, but they have, what I don't understand is.
Okay, so for the people that don't know, they're these political commentators. One's far, far left and one's far, far right. And they're madly in love and have been married for like 30 years. That's my husband and I. We're not on the same side politically.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about being on the same side politically. I'm talking about where your loyalty lies.
With situation, you can compartmentalize it very easily.
But you don't.
I do all the time. It's like a non-issue.
Do you guys know what happened 40 years ago today?
What?
It's so crazy. The hit TV show Dallas premiered across.
Yeah, that's
Ultimately,
right.
the person who pulled the trigger was
Kristen Shepard, I'm sorry, yeah.
Kristen Shepard, Mary Crosby,
makes sense.
in a Who Done It episode, which aired on November 21st, 1980.
And by the way, one more thing. But in all these.
Feel good to hear about that?
I don't know.
Your phones are already listening to everything.
You do?
Oh, I don't know. I like to just hear some. I'll give it to you. You know what I mean?
cash,
Yeah, I
don't
like
you?
cash.
Cold hard cash.
Old school.
Yeah, I'm old school. Not Alexa. Well, Alexa, what happened? You donated every month?
Right.
For 3 years? What happened, Alexa?
Alexa knows what you're fighting with your wife about, trust me. They are there watching everything you're doing. Alexa's listening. She knows what's up.
You know who else is listening? Ebony Steele. She has a new trending story coming in hot.
I'm listening loud and clear, especially when it comes to sales.
They called you Elmore.
L and L, it's hard. It's a lot of L.
Thanks for responding to my question.
I don't know. Let's talk about like something fun.
Happy things?
Yeah.
You want to talk about happy things?
Yes,
All right, so for 40 days, Jeff has not had meat.
I told you it was going to come back around.
I like it better the second time.
It tastes sweeter.
It does taste sweeter.
Oh, only 10 seconds left. We're out of here. The stories never stop. We don't either. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. Happy Monday, everybody. Keep the conversation going.
Bye, guys.
Erin's with us all week.